culture. I cut my way out podcast. Tune us in. We on the grind I put the clippers in my hand. I got a whole different plan. I gotta see how this play out. Hoping that it pay out. Trying to cut my way out. Yeah, I put the clippers in my hand. I got a whole different plan. I gotta see how this play out. Hoping that it pay out. Trying to cut my way out. I used to dream as a kid on the porch of the crib and make it big and one day endorse where I live.
And welcome back to another episode of the I Cut My Way Out podcast celebrating barber culture. I am at Kenneth Jinx 1 on IG, at Ken Jinx on Facebook, and I am joined by my brother, esteemed, gracious colleague, and the brains and the barber behind the show. Go ahead and take them away and give them your addies right quick.
All right, I appreciate it. I'm Ashra Knox on Facebook. A_Knox, the barber 4 on Instagram, also beard_culture, number 4 on Instagram, and our joint page at I Cut My Way Out _pod on Instagram.
Yep. And again, this is the I Cut My Way Out podcast. We are everywhere where you can listen to podcasts, most notably YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, TuneIn, iHeart. Just put us in your preferred search engine and we should rise to the top. Thank you all for rocking with us. We are forever indebted to you all. And before we get into today's show, just how have you been since we last recorded?
Man, everything has been good, man. Just steady grinding, man. Trying to make it happen. Awesome. Yourself?
Man, I'm doing real good. You know, we in Illinois, so this weather is starting to perk up. So my vitamin D and all my little, winter depression is going by the wayside. And
right.
It's
turning the corner.
It's turning the corner. So
that's what's up.
Yeah. So yep. And we have a special guest today. I like,
ready?
Yeah, I like gonna be able to talk to a young lady in the industry, and so this is gonna be exciting for me. I gotta make sure I'm careful. So
yeah.
but go ahead and take it away.
Okay. So today we have a very, very special guest for our listeners. Super excited. This young lady is a barber at the Smash City Grooming Lounge in Houston, Texas. She is the definition of leveling the playing field. So many times we, in our industry, it's male dominated. And so it's, often classified male, female, but just scrolling through her Instagram page, I would put her skill level against any male that I see in the game. She's just extraordinary from a skill standpoint. She also has shown that gender doesn't matter in the industry. She's, like I said, A1. She comes from Texas, and without further ado, we would like to introduce Ashley on Instagram at Euphoric_phase. How are you doing, Ashley?
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
Doing well. We are happy and excited to have you.
I'm happy that you guys brought me onto this. I'm excited. This is my first podcast, so I'm excited.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
So just to add a little context, when I said I have to be careful, in like one of our second or third episodes, I said something that I knew I messed up when I said it. I'm not going to repeat what I said, but I was just kind of like, had made a reference with, barbershops being the male country, the black man's country club. I had said something and I knew right in the moment that it wasn't.
You're like, oh no, what did I do?
Right. If we have some female listeners, I'm gonna catch something for that one. So
and it when we smoothed it over and basically it was just the wording, but it wasn't taken out of context. Everybody I think understood what he meant.
Yeah.
So we're going to jump right off into this interview. Like I said, extremely excited. And so, can you tell the listeners a little bit about who Ashley is, where you're from, when's the first time you picked up a pair of clippers, and what attracted you to the profession?
My name is Ashley to begin with.
All right.
I consider El Paso, Texas home, but I was originally born in Las Cruces, New Mexico.
Okay.
And I grew up in a small town in a farm called La Mesa, New Mexico. Okay. It's like 40 minutes out from El Paso. So I was always familiar. But yeah, I lived in El Paso my adult years. The first time I really started cutting hair was in beauty school. I didn't really pick it up until then. So I was 17, 18 years old.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So what attracted you and made you want to go to beauty school, being that you had never picked clippers up at that point in time?
You know, I originally went to school to do women's hair.
Okay.
And I hated it. So yes. So I had to pick up something else. I'm like, no, there's no way.
Okay. What about it? What was it that you didn't like?
I just wasn't interested in learning more about it. You see, when I cut hair, when I do men's haircuts, and let's just say I've made mistakes before. So whenever I do make a mistake, I feel confident enough or intrigued enough to say, well, let's fix this, or let's make this look better. If I mess up on a woman's haircut or a woman's color, I'm just not as interested. I'm kind of like, well, I can recommend you to somebody else. I'm just not as passionate about it. I would say that.
Okay,
yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. So after you finished, so you attended cosmetology school?
Yes.
Okay. So after realizing that your lane was barber and that's what you were passionate about, kind of tell us about your journey from that point on up until your transition that you've made now.
Well, you see, when I realized I didn't like to do women's hair, I was about 2 months out from graduating school. So I really contemplated in doing something else.
Okay.
Which was at the time I wanted to do psychology, which I went for 3 semesters, and I just stopped because I realized I found something I liked in the industry. Okay. So when I was in school, I had a friend, a barber friend, and he's really good. Okay. So he told me, you should try doing men's haircuts. And I'm like, I don't know if I would be good at it. You know, it's really intimidating because, you know, it's one of those things where you have to get it right. And then if you don't, you just have to wait for the hair to grow out, of course. But yeah, so he was the one that pretty much taught me everything he knew at the time. I picked it up and I didn't look back since.
Okay. That's what's up. That's what's up. Okay. So, what was the first shop outside? So you finished. So you didn't go to barber school. You just finished cosmetology school, correct?
Yes.
So then, what was the first shop that you actually worked in?
You're gonna laugh. I actually worked at Sport Clips for a year.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
I worked at Sport Clips. Why?
I said, wow. Okay.
Yes. No one really expects that because it's like, really, Sport Clips? You know what I mean? Right. It's like a really cookie cutter company where they really rush the haircuts. They don't really add detail. Well, at least where I worked. Okay. They would push like 15-minute haircuts no matter what you're doing. Really? You have to get them out. Yeah. It's just really different, which is why I eventually branched out to a barbershop because I knew there wasn't one I was looking for.
Okay. So an assembly line of sorts. Wow.
Yes.
15-minute cuts. They would have fired me.
Yeah. They almost fired me.
Man. So from that point on, so you moved into a barbershop, and how long were you at that particular one?
At the second barbershop, I was there for about 7 to 8 months.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That was already in El Paso, Texas.
Okay, cool. So overall, how long have you been cutting up to this point?
For 4.5 years. It'll be 5 years in August.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
So speaking
Truly
of it,
get. Go ahead.
Speaking of El Paso, we actually have a friend here in where we live that actually is a military guy, and he spent the last 7 years of his tenure in the Army in El Paso. So we're kind of familiar with there being a big Army base.
Yes.
Did you cut a lot of military people hair when you at Supercuts as well as your shop?
No, actually, I think most military just stick to the barbershops.
So they don't need
Everywhere,
the euphoric fade that you give, right?
no, I didn't actually have military clientele until I I went to a barbershop.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Cool. So your Instagram name is super unique and dope.
Thank you.
Once I seen that, it really jumped out. Tell us about the name and how you came up with it.
It was so hard to come up with it because I used to just have Ashley.
Okay.
And for a while, for so long, I swear for like about a year, I was like, I need to change my name. I need to change my name to something catchy. And I changed it like a week before coming up with Euphoric to Ashley the Goat. But then
Okay.
every time I would get a notification, it would make me cringe. I was like, this
Right.
isn't me. You know what I mean? So me and my husband were just finishing up this show called Euphoria.
Okay.
And I was about to change my name to Aesthetic Fades because I wanted something more girly, but at the same time that represented who I am.
Okay.
And then my husband, he was just like, well, what about Euphoric? I was like, oh my gosh, I love that. And it just stuck ever since.
Right. Yeah, that's a dope name. That's extremely catchy. Yeah, I like that. So you talked about, you wanted to have a name that was still a little girly, but also represented who you are. With being a barber in once a male dominated arena, and it's starting to, hit that curve. You're seeing more and more, female barbers. Do you feel a need to prove yourself from a skill standpoint? What drives you to be the best barber that you can be?
In the beginning of my career, I definitely had to prove myself a lot more. I felt like every single client was such a struggle. They would be looking at the mirror every 5 seconds, like, oh my God, have you messed up yet? Like, I would have to pay attention to any detail because any person that walked in the shop, I stood out because I was the only female there.
Okay.
And I felt like I had to go the extra mile to prove myself all the time.
Right.
But, as time came along, I gained more confidence and it kind of became like, not that I didn't care, but I was okay with people not trusting me because I knew what I had to offer and I knew that my work spoke for itself. So after a while, clients they really felt comfortable with me without me even, I guess because they saw the confidence, and before I didn't really have that.
Right.
As far as what keeps me driven, I feel like holding myself accountable keeps me really driven. I'm really big on discipline when it comes to my career. So I don't allow myself to settle for the bare minimum. So I feel like
that's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. Okay. So with that being said, like them looking in the mirror every 5 minutes, is there any time that stands out that you had a client that doubted your skill, and once they got out the chair, they were just in amazement?
Yes, this actually happened at Smash's shop just like 2 days ago.
Wow.
Yes. It happens to me all the time.
Yeah.
Like, they just look at me like, are you sure you can do this? Especially because, I guess because I'm like super girly and I'm petite. I'm super short. Most of my clients are like 6 foot tall.
Okay.
And, I'll be like tippy-toeing, lining them up. So, a lot of people questioned me and doubted me, but once they get out of that chair, they come out super happy.
Right.
They rebook, they become weekly clients. So I'm not worried about it.
That's what's up. That's what's up. You said that was, you just made this transition and they're warming you up a little bit, huh?
Yes.
That's what's up.
Can we talk about the transition?
I got some questions
okay.
in there, Jinx, that if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
I'm a transition. Okay, cool. So what is your opinion, just in regards to how people tend to classify the male, female barbers instead of just classifying everybody as barbers? Is it an expectation? Do you understand it? Does it bother you? How do you feel?
I'm a very, how do I say this? I feel like I'm a mediator in everything in my life. So I understand both sides. Okay. I know that at some point a lot of people have been through like situations where, no matter where they went, female people, I'm sorry,
No,
female
you're good.
barbers, female barbers have not always, I guess, like before it wasn't as common.
Okay.
So I can see why it's intimidating.
Right.
But now I feel like really it's 2021. It shouldn't be something where, oh, you're the best female barber or you're the best female this. I'm like, I can't just be like, a good barber.
Right.
I can't just, you know what I mean? I don't feel like it should be something that it should be, well, he's the best male and then she's the best female. Like, I feel like we all have like gained a skill set to the point where, it's barber against barber, whether it's a female or male.
Bottom line. And my thought with female barbers, I've always thought, and I hope my barber brothers don't slice me up, but I've always felt like women are just more detailed, right? And so it's not surprising.
I'm not biased, but yes.
So it's not surprising to me that as the industry has evolved, we have so many cold female barbers. It's not surprising because you guys are really detailed. That's to me, that's what you guys do. You're very detailed, and so that stands out. When you're cutting hair, because once you get the basics down, it's just about really paying attention to detail. Yes. So it's not surprising. I saw a post that Smash put up, just basically saying, hey, we're not classifying here. It's going to be barbers straight up and down. That's what we're doing. We're not classifying male, female, great barbers, and you definitely belong in that class. Your work stands out.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Jinx, I know you had a question.
No, go ahead.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, it's yeah. I know I'm gonna get it off. Just
okay. So you, like I said, and I've said it time and time again, and you're extremely. To me, as I look at your work, I've seen a couple of cuts in January of 2020, and your transitions were amazing. And I think there are good barbers that work hard to become good barbers, and I think that they're gifted barbers. As I'm watching your work and you tell me that you're 4.5 years in, I would definitely put you in that class of gifted. It just looks like that's a talent that you have. Not that you don't work at it, but you're definitely gifted. When did you realize that you had a true gift and this is what you wanted to do for a career? At what point did it really hit you?
I actually didn't cut hair for a full year because I had an accident. And when I got back from that accident and I started cutting hair again, it was kind of like a spark, I would say. Okay. I realized how much I missed cutting hair and how much I really loved it. Okay. And I think at that point, I realized that I'm never, ever going to do the bare minimum with my career. I'm never not going to take new clients. I'm never not going to do the extra, the most for my client to be happy in my chair. You know, I'm going to build relationships with my clients. I'm going to do the most with everything that I do with my career. And that's because I'm grateful that I can still cut hair.
Yeah. I was going to say when you ended, it sounds like maybe it really hit you like, look, as easy as I'm able to do this, it can be gone in any second.
Yes.
Just so realizing that gift and not taking it for granted. I'm glad you were able to, come back from your injuries and do what you do. That's what's up. So before we talk about your transition, we're going to get into that in just a second. I see you have, and I'm watching just in this last week with just the promotion, your transition. Already I'm looking and your followers are jumping up really quickly.
Yes.
Who are some of the barbers, and you already have a solid following, just of really good barbers and notable barbers in the industry. Outside of Smash, who are some of the barbers in the industry that you look to as mentors, being that, we're in an era where we can follow barbers through Instagram and see their work?
It's really hard for me to find somebody that's like I see as a mentor, because I've come across a lot of barbers that I feel don't have the right values in the barber industry. But I do have a couple.
Okay.
Aside from Smash, of course.
Okay.
I like the Hawk Vision on Instagram.
Absolutely.
He's amazing. The way he carries himself, the value he has. Rob the Original, he's really big. He's really well known in El Paso, aside from the fact that, he's Mexican. So
I was gonna
and he puts
ask.
out amazing work. Yeah. Kay Duncan Grooming.
Absolutely.
A lot of wisdom. So yeah, those are the couple that I have.
Okay, good deal. Were you about to say something, James?
Yeah, so I was gonna ask, what your nationality was. So you kind of like, kind of bigged up the Mexican. So before we do move on, like, what is the barber? I mean, just the scene in El Paso as far as really excelling. What did that exist in El Paso or no?
You mean to grow, like in the industry?
To grow, to just be, to reach your potential. Was it there in El Paso?
I think, I feel like you can definitely learn a lot in El Paso, because
it's pretty big. It's almost like 1 million people, right?
Yeah, and especially with the Fort Bliss base, you get a lot of versatile clients. The only thing with El Paso is it is small compared to the bigger cities like Houston. So I felt like even if you can grow in El Paso, that you do hit a plateau where you're just, okay, now what? You know what I mean? So I felt like a bigger city like Houston would help me out a lot in my career.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you can definitely learn in El Paso. There's so many good barbers out there. So many. Because
we have a friend, and shout out to Burnett. I know he listens when he can. So and you probably wouldn't have crossed paths because he's been, gone. He's older and he's been gone longer than you've been cutting. But I've never been, but agreed to come on. And the fact that you were from El Paso, it was a few things just kind of crept in my mind. I wanted to get the pulse of El Paso from somebody else, besides him. And so that's sort of what some of the questions are that I'm coming up with. But I know you have some questions about the transition and that I want to piggyback off of. So
okay. Yeah. So you're from El Paso. So currently you joined the Smash City barbering team. Kudos and congratulations.
Thank you.
That is a big move. I've seen the shop on Instagram, and I was in complete awe. I'm like, he took that to another level. He raised the bar in the industry with that shop.
He really did.
Yeah, seriously. So with you working with one of the best barbers in the industry, like I said, even as a barber, I love giving props and credit to other barbers. And for me, he's my number one barber in the industry. So how did that whole opportunity come about?
You see, I had actually messaged a couple of people from Houston.
Okay.
Because I wanted to be more familiar on the high-end barbershops over here, because I was already planning on moving to Houston.
Okay.
I wanted to look around, see which ones were good, see which ones were not that good, because I felt like my skill set was already at the point where I can pick and choose where I want to work. So I messaged his son because he was working at a barbershop and I saw his work was really good. So I messaged him and I asked him where he was working and if he would recommend that place, or if he knew of any other barbershops that that he knew of, just to start getting familiar, because I'm not so familiar with Houston.
Right.
So that's when he messaged me back and he said, "Oh, your work is really good. My dad's gonna open up a shop." I was like, "Oh, okay, that's nice. Where is it located?" He didn't tell me it was Smash Legend until like later on in the conversation.
Okay.
And then he had told me, "Oh yeah, my dad smashed." I was like, "What do you mean? Like smash?" Like, I was like, "Wait a minute!" Like, I had no idea in the beginning. And then so we kept on conversating, and I figured out that it was Smash, the legend.
Okay.
And he kept saying that he's gonna introduce his work, my work, to him. Okay. And put in a good word, because that's, that's all he can do. Right. So at that point, I knew that I had to do my part. So, I was invited to the grand opening. So I flew in. I sent in my portfolio resume. I was interviewed, and now I'm here.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And that just says a lot just about the process, sending in your resume, your portfolio, actually having an interview. That says something just about the shop and the level of professionalism, because so many shops, you just touch down, and if they have somebody that's willing to pay booth rent, then they're accepting. Doesn't matter the quality of the cut or anything. So that's what's up. So Smash is doing, he is doing and has done an amazing job of promoting your skills and giving you a launching pad with this new transition. Just with the transition, how far is El Paso from Houston?
I believe it's about 10 or 11 hours away.
Wow. Okay, so that's a pretty big transition. So how has it been, just in terms of just the environment, the shop, and just Houston in and of itself? How's the transition been?
It's been a lot to take in, only because Houston is huge. Oh my gosh. I underestimated how big it is. I tried to remember the way to work, but I think it's taking me like in a different route every time. I haven't been here for 2 full weeks yet. So I've been here for like a week and a half. As far as the shop, the transition is just, it's definitely, I have to keep stepping my game up, because compared to I can't, this is Smash. I can't let it down. It's overwhelming. It's a lot to take in. It's a bit uncomfortable because I'm out of my comfort zone, but it's so amazing. I'm super grateful.
But the key to that. So, and I'm gonna just say it, just watching your work, your transition, you're about to blow up, right?
Everybody
you are about to blow up. And I think that it is important. And even being an older barber, I'm kind of learning, because I'm in a situation that you talked about, being at a place where you're just plateauing. I've been cutting for a long time, but I've just started to cut just full time, just threw everything to the side, almost 2 years now. And in the town I'm at, my head is at the ceiling. And I think the best comes out of you when your back is on the ropes. When you come out of that comfortable situation, it's going to test you, and you are really going to get to know yourself and your limits. On top of the fact that when you're cutting with someone with the skill set and reputation that he has, iron sharpens iron. That's going to also bring the best out in you. So it's kind of the best of both worlds for you. That's a dope situation to be in. It's a real dope situation to be in. So your first time getting in there and cutting, I've seen you cut his hair. Were you a little bit nervous?
I'm not gonna lie, I was. This is Smash. Oh my God. I was like, what if I mess his hairline up or something? But you know what? I kind of like reassured myself. I'm like, I know what I'm doing. You know what I mean?
Right.
I had to calm myself down, and then, Smash being Smash, he's an amazing person. So, he helps me out so much, and
That's
it's something he doesn't make me feel uncomfortable. He doesn't put me in the spot. He tells me, if you don't know something, just ask. You know what I mean?
That's what's up.
Yeah. So at the end, I felt so comfortable. I wasn't worried at all.
That's what's up. All right, Jinx, jump on in there, bro.
I mean, I'm just gonna grill you, not challenge you, but just grill you, because I'm not a barber, so I just have kind of just general questions.
Okay.
So when you made the move from El Paso to Houston, did you move? Was the move made without the situation squared away with Smash and being in the shop, or did you know that you were gonna be working in the shop? So everything with his son, did that already come through before you made the move?
Well, everything I feel like everything just fell into place perfectly, because I was already planning the move.
Okay.
Without knowing I had the job. I just literally had no plan B. I just said, I'm going to do my best, and I'm going to manifest this and I'm going to make it happen. It just worked out for me.
So
God always has plans. Yeah.
So with that being said, you mentioned that you were married. So was this something that your husband just said, "Hey, whatever you're doing, we're climbing on your back to pursue your vision and your dream," or did he have, if I might ask, what is his role in the move, and just in your sanity, I guess?
Well, he was already thinking about Houston because he has family here.
Okay.
So El Paso, he's not a really big fan of El Paso.
Okay.
So anything but El Paso would have worked out for him.
Okay.
So anything but El Paso. So when I started telling him about Houston, he actually told me first, and I was kind of like hesitant.
Mm-hmm.
But as I started looking at Houston, I started to think, well, my career can grow a lot more. He moved here before me. He was staying with some family. So it was just a matter of time for me to come over here. He is into MMA fighting. So a lot more gyms over here, a lot bigger, opportunities for him as well.
Right. Okay. Cool. So you speak of just your career as a barber growing. What do you envision, or what are your goals in regards to your career as a barber? Your ultimate goal.
My ultimate goal, I have a couple.
Okay.
I want to I want to eventually have, this has nothing to do with cutting hair right now, but I guess branch out to have my own skincare line.
That's what's up.
It's gonna start for men, but it's gonna branch out for men and women.
That's what's up.
I want to have my own podcast.
Okay. That's what's up.
I want to cut hair because I want to, not because I need to.
That's what's
up.
So
those are some of my goals.
And it's I mean, just watching Smash, just him take off with his products from an entrepreneurial standpoint. I think for me, I think the true testament of a barber in this generation as it's evolving long term is to be able to make money when you're not behind the chair.
Exactly.
And that is also my goal. So that's big, and it helps when you have someone that is taking strides and making it happen, because you're right there being able to soak up that knowledge and get it from someone who's making it happen. So that's another benefit of being there. That's
There's
what's
no
up.
excuses now.
That's what's up.
No
So
excuses.
as far as your podcast, what type of topics is it? Barbering? What is it in regards to?
I'm really into psychology, so my podcast would be a lot more about personal growth, about self-development.
That's what's up.
I would probably go back and forth with like entrepreneurship, depending where I'm at in my life. But I'm super into self-development. So I kind of like mentoring people. So yeah.
Okay. So with that being said, so you have that psychology piece. What does Ashley, what other interests does Ashley have when she's not in her euphoric phase mentality? When you put that to the side, you put the clippers down, you and your husband are together, what type of things do you guys like to do?
Well, aside from cutting hair, I like to read, but that has to do with, my psychology. And I read a lot of self-development books, anything that has to do with mental health. I really love family time. I make time. Family is extremely important to me. Relationships are very important to me. So I make time for that. I really want to get back into cooking. Yeah, I want to my future kids are not going to eat out. That's the goal. And I would say I really enjoy alone time, which is super weird. Yeah, I like to do a lot of self-reflecting.
No, that's not weird. That's needed. I don't think we appreciate it or get enough of it, the average person. Yes. I think that's extremely important.
It really is.
Okay. That's what's up. So as we jump back into barbering just a little bit, I'm getting, we're getting a full scope of who Ashley is, what the whole barbering, outside of barbering. But as a whole, what does barbering mean to you? Just in your words, what does barbering mean to you?
Barbering. I feel like I apply a lot of my own values into barbering. Like I said, relationships are super important to me. So I feel like every client that comes in my chair is an opportunity, is a relationship, is a friendship, I was so heartbroken, like letting go of some of my clients in El Paso, you know what I mean? So, I apply that into my own career, and it means so much to me that I can impact somebody's life as much as they impact mine. So it's much more than cutting hair, and I just happen to be good at it. To be honest, everything else, I do 100% of it.
That's what's up. So for me, I have a couple more questions as we're rounding out. Jinx, I don't know if you have any more. But I think it's important as listeners listen to this, and just for our ladies and young ladies, because I'm pretty sure there are females out there that want to be barbers and but just kind of feel maybe it's not a place for quote unquote females. What advice would you give young women that are aspiring to be barbers?
I would say build your confidence. Don't get intimidated by male barbers. Don't compare yourself, and work on your craft. Just focus on that. Just don't compare your work. You know, I would take some notes if you have to, but don't compare yourself. That's a confidence killer.
Right.
Just work on your confidence, because being a female barber, you have to be confident. A lot of people, if you're not confident, even if you're good, a lot of people are going to reject you just for that reason. Even if you know you can do it, you know.
Right.
And
I agree.
it's very intimidating in the beginning. It's extremely intimidating. So just work on the confidence.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So lastly for me, and this is one of my favorite questions, always for barbers. If there was one person that you could put in your chair and cut just one time from any era, who would it be and why?
Oh, I didn't read from any era. Okay. Okay. So I'm just gonna say this is the one I had in mind.
Mm-hmm.
I would say Frank Ocean, only because I love his music, and I feel like he would let me do any kind of color on his hair, because it's so hard to find people that want to do cool stuff to their hair.
Right.
So I feel like he would definitely let me do some cool stuff.
That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. Jinx, you got any?
You know, I just want to I'm intrigued with the move. You know, you've only been in Houston for two weeks, and you're, I don't even want to say starting over, but starting anew, and you know, in a new shop. So I mean, not just for barbers, but just for people that want that fresh start. Um, what is the biggest adjustment that you had to make, you know, going out with the old, in with the new, in that transition? Like, I know you said letting the clients know, like, just first things first, how did those conversations go, telling the clients I'm leaving? Was it crying? Was it hugs? Was it like
You know, I think the hardest part about it was the fact that I decided like 2 months before I moved out here. I had the idea 3 months before, but I really decided, and this was the day before New Year's, that I was like, okay, yeah, I'm leaving to Houston. So I told my clients, and they were like, hold up, what? Like, you're leaving in February? Like, you can't just leave me, you know what I mean? And at the time, even if I had made that decision, I didn't know if I was hired for Smashing the City. So I was nervous so many times, like telling my clients, well, I have this potential opportunity. And they were like, well, do you know if you have it? Or, you know, I had a lot of people make me even more nervous, but most of my clients were so supportive, and it broke my heart, like really, like, because they still comment on my posts like, I miss you so much. You know, I build, like, they're my friends, they're people that I've interacted with for like the past year being my clients. So you know, it was really heartbreaking, but I know that once I touch El Paso down again, that I'm gonna see them again, I'm gonna cut their hair, and it's gonna be like we've never separated.
Absolutely. That's what's up.
And another thing, and I just have maybe two more questions. So the shop environment, especially the barbers, not Supercuts, but the barbershop environment, how do you walk that line of being the girly girl as you described, but still allowing, you know, men to feel comfortable in a shop talking about typical things that we talk about in the barber shop?
I get it.
That's a good question.
You know, I'm not like I said, I feel like I'm a mediator in a way. So I'm not the kind of person that, unless they're, you know, blatantly disrespecting me, but I'm not the kind of person to say, well, I'm around, so don't say this kind of stuff, you know. I understand that it's, 15 guys, and at this other shop that I was in, it was 2 girls, it was 2 of us. So you know, 9 times out of 10, they didn't care if we were even around.
Right.
You know, at that point, I just, the way I made my clients feel comfortable is literally just being myself. You know, they sat in my chair. If they doubted me, they doubted me. I would just say, well, if you're willing to trust me, I'll show you my work. And that's that. I am a people's person. So I love conversating. I love learning about other people. So it was really smooth for me to like make my clients feel comfortable, you know, and I feel like me being confident in that made them feel more comfortable in itself. So it wasn't really hard. As far as me being like super girly and everyone else not being super girly, I think I just, you know, well, it's who I am. I just let my work speak for itself.
That's what's up.
And my last question, what kind of music so if somebody says, okay, euphoric underscore Phage, you're the DJ in the shop with your Mexican background, and I'm married to a Puerto Rican. So what would be, besides Frank Ocean, I know that's gonna hit the playlist, but you know, would you hit them with the Spanish music or
I would. Why not?
Right.
Okay.
Yes, I would. Everything. The old reggaeton, the Daddy Yankee, everything.
Okay. You know, but those are hot
Yes.
artists. They done made the cross. So I thought you was gonna really like hit them with the real like ethnic,
Mexican.
you know, yeah.
Oh, you're
Like,
talking about like norteñas, cumbias, everything. You know,
yeah,
it's so
them.
crazy
Yeah.
because in El Paso, if you walk in the barbershop that I worked in, they play everything, you know?
Okay.
Like all kinds of music. And it was funny because one of my clients commented one time and he's like, I think El Paso is the only place where they play Mexican music in a barbershop. And it was so funny because usually everyone's like, well, just put barbershop music, which is rap music, you know? Right. Everybody, you know, it's so the culture in it, you know, right. It's always rap music in a barbershop. So, you know, it was different for us to always be playing Mexican music.
Cool. That's what's up. All right.
All right.
Well, this has been an amazing interview. Our first guest was a female barber, and then you, and hopefully this will set, you know, a trend, you know, to have more female barbers on, because I really want to, you know, me and my partner to continue to shine a light on you guys in what you do. We do not bring anyone on that does not inspire us. So when I'm watching your work, I'm listening to your story, your transition, because I'm kind of back and forth about, you know, uprooting and moving. And so not only your work, but just your story is inspiring, and you and your husband willing to take that leap of faith and let God work and bet on yourself. That's huge. And I know that, you know, it'll be nothing but blessings for you. Like I said, you're going to blow up.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Your work, that, you know, your work and what you do, there's no holding you back. The sky's the limit. And, you know, it's been a privilege, and we greatly appreciate.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Even with that, when you get a chance, because I just, from your perspective as a female and attention to detail, you get a chance, check out my page, just give me feedback. Because like I said, I'm inspired by what you do. Like I said, and Jinx, I'm going to show you the specific photos I'm talking about with those transitions. I was like, wow. Yeah. So again, it's been a pleasure with all you have going on with your transition, only being there a week. We greatly appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
At the end of this, I always give a shout out to the Clipper companies, Andy's, Wall, Bablis, Oyster, JRL, Bevel, Caliber, just everybody, Formos, just for providing us with the tools to do what it is that we do and allow us to cut our way out. So we greatly appreciate it.
So yeah, that is this is the I Cut My Way Out podcast. I'd like to extend a special thanks to Ashley, also known as at Euphoric_phase on IG. Again, check out her page.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we are everywhere where you can listen to podcasts, most notably YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, TuneIn, iHeart. We are everywhere where you can listen and put in and you can use your favorite search engine. I Cut My Way Out. We will be number one. Thank you for all your support at Euphoric Faye. Ashley, thank you once again for coming on.
Mom had to do it all, working 2 jobs to provide while I pursue the ball. Hoop dreams, no problem doing my own thing. Stepped in the world to get a win for the home team. Lace the sneakers for the crowd in the bleachers. This might get away from the lesson life teaches, but 5'9" don't follow the league guideline. Heart of a champ, but I gotta tuck my pride now. Off to college for the knowledge, try my hand at math. But one call from back home really changed my path. My firstborn, now I got a mouth to feed. Told the Southeast I got a whole new route to lead. Young father, odd jobs, every day is real. Turn to the streets to try to eat or maybe pay a bill. Not proud of it, but I got it cooking good. But prison time on the mind wasn't looking good. I can't afford the price, so I tried the corporate life. Something wasn't sitting right, every night I'm tossing light. They don't appreciate all my hard work, so I went ahead and jumped, let the Lord work. Beer culture 2020, yeah, we taking over. From the clippers to the hoodies that be draping over. I put the clippers in my hand. I got a whole different plan. I gotta see how this play out. Hoping that it pay out. Trying to cut my way out. Yeah, I put the clippers in my hand. I got a whole different plan. I gotta see how this play out. Hoping that it pay out. Trying to cut my way out. Cut my way out. Tryna cut my way out.